I'm Dr. Akilah Cadet, and this is Humane Rights, a show that flips the traditional talk show on its head. This isn't about debate, it's about dialogue. Each episode, I invite guests from different walks of life to unpack the messy, beautiful realities of being human. Welcome to Humane Rights, where being human is the ultimate act of resistance. Hi.
What up?
Welcome to Humane Rights. I'm so excited to have you here today. You know you're one of my favorite people.
And you're one of mine.
I know, and thank you for saying it for the record.
No, well,
That's it. That's
now
done.
it has
we
to
did
be
it.
held accountable.
You have to be held accountable.
Now we're in trouble.
We are now in trouble on this date and time. I am so excited to have you here in our studio in Berkeley. We're seated in my lovely studio that's surrounded in gold, because vibes, with Taylor Small's painting behind us, which is a story we're going to get into.
Okay.
Today, my wonderful golden braids are paired with a vintage black leather jacket and vintage leather miniskirt, stockings, and heels that say I run shit, like boots that go up to say I mean business. Actually, men like these boots more than women, and I think it's because they see the the player in me. Yeah.
Yes,
See what I did there?
I understand.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah,
you get
thank you.
it.
Yep.
Yeah. I think it's really important to note that we are light eyes for justice. We are doing the work. We can't look into the sun, but we can dismantle white supremacy.
Listen, light skins will always overcompensate. I'm black as fuck.
I know. I'm going to do something a little special, which is do an image description of you.
Uh-oh.
I know. You ready?
Yep.
Okay. So
Wait, let me put my
put the glasses
here.
on. Put the glasses on.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. The man that has like damn near 1 million followers because of your thirst traps sits on the. You're like, yes. Sits on the
skilled thirst trapper.
You're what?
Skilled thirst trapper.
Yeah. So we both show our titties for justice as well, because I do award-winning cleavage, and then you just do the
Side boob.
The side boob. And you throw the abs in there too, but we can't see the abs right now because you have on a black t-shirt, slightly oversized, but perfectly fit. And then we have on some black pants, a white sneaker, black ball cap, and glasses that are hiding your light eyes for justice. The eyes that get you whatever you want.
So essentially,
Yeah.
Predominantly black.
Predominantly
with a
black.
minority white.
Yes,
sneaker.
exactly. Yes, predominantly black.
Hey.
And also your signature golden, like, little fang things. Grills.
That I've had since
Forever.
7th grade.
Not since 7th grade.
I have had since middle school some
Are
sort
you
of.
serious?
Yes. Not these
but, like,
particularly.
vibes.
Yeah, my teeth have changed a little bit
Yeah,
since
well,
then.
because you grew.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
But always some sort of fang, some sort of
fangs.
grill, yeah.
Okay, I'm not done. You have on a chain. One. Just one today. Just one chain. Just a casual. It just says, I'm here. It's not a huge hello.
Yeah.
And
usually
then
it's 4.
You have a beard and red shade glasses on. And then you're also one of the hottest men in America, right?
I'll take it. You know what I'm saying? From your mouth.
Oh, the
to
glasses
God's
came
ears.
off.
Yeah,
The glasses came off.
I might be. I'm warm-blooded.
You know it. We both live this life of beauty, which works well for both of us. So, yay. But can you tell folks who you are?
Yay.
Kendrick Sampson?
Yay.
You are you liked it?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I am Kendrick Sampson.
You
That
are.
is true.
Yeah.
That is true. Grew up without any Kendrick Lamar or any other Kendrick to compare it to, so I had to correct people on that too many times. No, it's Kendrick. I love my name. I am a curious headache to my homies. I challenge people on values. I challenge myself on values. And I do my best to build my work around that. I'm a storyteller. I have an organization called Build Power where we focus on building power. And
That was profound.
thank you.
Yeah.
I'm profound. I love the arts, love storytelling, love creativity, love discipline, and I'm doing my best to be transformative wherever. I'm an abolitionist. I'm, Black radical liberation is my grounding, and yeah, I'm doing my best to get us as free and healthy as we could possibly be. And I love community. Oh, and I forgot. I can't not say I'm from Texas, and I'm country as hell. You know, my family is super rural Texas and Louisiana, and I grew up in Houston, in the Mo, what we call the Mo City. Yeah. H-Town, Mo City, Southwest.
You left out that you are an exceptional writer.
I do write.
You do write.
Now that's hard for me to say I'm a writer. I do write. Because you know why?
Why?
Because I am an actor. I'm a performer.
You're an actor.
I'm an actor.
Is that how people
Sometimes
know you?
Depends on when people are paying me for it. I produce. That's my storytelling. I love storytelling. Activist, but writer. When it comes to writer, I have so much respect for people who can actually put together something from beginning to end and edit it. And you know what I'm talking about already. When it comes to editing, for some reason, I have a magical skill of making my editing process make shit longer than instead of making it shorter. So that's why I'm always like, am I a writer? But I do write, and I love writing. Yeah.
It's, if only, if I were an editor and an author, if I had those skill sets, then maybe what I said about you being a writer would have some validity.
I'm telling you, challenged, okay?
No, you're a great writer. Wonderful actor. And I think everyone needs to know that you are more than a pretty face because you are brilliant. We talked about this.
Listen. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, I mean, you really, really are. The way you see the world, the way you're able to communicate with the world, the way you're able to help people think differently is really, really great. Folks have been asking me, who's coming on the podcast? Who's coming on the podcast? And I was like, Kendrick Sampson. Who's that? And I was like, well, he was, Issa Rae's boyfriend and Insecure. Well, which one? The one with the light eyes? Yeah. And then people are like, oh, wow. Wait, do you mean Kendrick? And then they'll just do your Instagram handle. And I'm like, yeah. Because you get to folks through your storytelling and your activism on social media as well, which I think is really, really important. It's not easy to be someone who's a creative and a writer and a dismantler. And you've found the way to do that. And I'm just very proud of you.
I'm working on being more effective in that every day. I'm like, I'm going to use whatever I got. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it's the words.
We like that you use what you have got.
If it's the words that I'm speaking, that's one thing. If I feel a little bit more brilliant than I am, don't get mad at me. You know what I mean? If it's acting, if it's the platform, it's PR, if it's social media, if it's side boob.
If it's side boob.
You know what I mean? Like if you want to see my feet, you got to do this call to action. You know what I mean?
What? The feet? We're doing that now?
It's like an OnlyFans reference.
Oh, the feet. No, it's not OnlyFans. It's Feet Finder. Get it right.
Feet Finder. My bad.
Yeah,
Feet Finder.
thank you.
Yeah. If you wanna see the feet, you gotta liberate. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get out in the streets. You gotta jump up and you know what I'm saying. Fight the. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how. Anything I got. Food.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I'm a good cook. I'll make you this meal. If you show up at this senator's office and tell him, fuck.
Why haven't you made me a meal yet? Okay. You have to think about that.
We've had other, I mean, you can't get it all. You know what I'm saying? I said whatever works. You know what I'm saying?
That's fair.
We work together.
We do work together. I know. Oh, so, okay. Well, maybe I'll just stop working with you just to see if this food is good.
Oh, the food is bomb.
I don't know that.
You know what I don't do is bad food. I grew up with my family came from you talk about dirt and mud. The boonies, poor. We were poor country, and my mom and my dad both made their own clothes, grew their own food. My dad hunted. You know what I'm saying? And I can't eat. Our ancestors have made some of the most delicious cuisine. You know what I'm saying? Some of the best food in the world with scraps. And some of the healthiest, some of the most transformational culture. So I don't ever give nobody no excuse. I'm like, if it don't taste good, if it ain't right, it ain't right. We need to get it right. If I gotta pick the herbs, if I gotta grow them myself.
This is true. You are quite the foodie.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I passed the test today, so I did not cook for you, for the record. But I took you to a lovely restaurant. Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay, well, we didn't discuss this. I don't know if you can ask me no questions. No,
Should we establish a safe word?
Yeah.
Okay, what is that going to be?
Okay, fine. The questions.
What's the safe word?
Safe word is going to be...
The brilliance is happening right now, real time? Thinking about
hummingbird.
Hummingbird? Okay. Hummingbird it is. All right. What is humane
Hummingbird.
rights?
No, I'm just playing. Go ahead.
What does humane rights mean to you?
What is humane rights to me? It reminds me of this hummingbird. No, humane rights, in thinking about that that's been a difficult thing to process in 2025.
Yeah.
Even like where I guess the areas, sectors, institutions, organizations that claim to be about human rights, and understanding what people's baseline is, and that you ain't ready to really jump in even when people say genocide.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's where I'm like, what we've understood as human rights, and of course the specific question around humane rights. But I think it's really boils down to the purpose of our existence here, the purpose of our life here together. A lot of time, we think so much about career advancement and things, and I'm like, I don't care if you believe in the universe, God, or what you believe in. Nothing's gonna ask you about that promotion when you die. And so, what we're supposed to be doing is taking care of each other. What we're supposed to be doing, and there's no species that ain't more powerful when they not, when they're not taking care of each other and protecting each other. And so, more than anything, it's understanding who people are, what they need, and how to fight for that, and provide for that, and what true love really look like.
Really? Yeah. I gave up fighting because I'm too cute for that. But thank you. You agree? That's good to know. But I do speak the truth. So there's a difference there. I don't need to fight for my existence because I was born here too. I can live here. I can and move through. But I can give someone an opportunity to learn and unlearn. I don't have to prove why or how I am deserving of anything. And I purposely took fight out of my language with the work that I do because I'm already a Black disabled woman in a white ass world. So, you know what I mean? But you do that. Like, you still use the word fight, but you do that the same way.
I was about to say, you need to rub off on me because I'll be ready to knuckle up.
Don't. Be careful with rubbing. Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely true, but that's actually why I've always I liked you for other reasons because you're cute and you're light eyes. But as I got to know more about who you are, particularly through your social media, I was just like, you have a choice. And you chose to speak the truth, and you chose to be in a position of advocacy. You chose to be in the streets with folks, and you have all the privilege in the world to not do that. And I think that part is really powerful. So I feel like I should share the story of our meet cute. You were there. I don't know if you remember this.
Was I? Oh, that's what it did. Because meat, right? Okay, got it.
Oh my God, you're an actor. You should know about the meet cute. That's like the most important thing in a movie. Like
Is
you
it?
do all these fucking rom-coms.
Okay, how do we
You wanna
get
talk
to
about-
most important thing in a movie being meat cute?
Because you are always
We
like the
gotta
love
talk about
interest.
this.
Do you want to talk about what is it? The Tiffany's, what is it? Tiffany's.
The most important in that is the
No.
meat cute.
You have a meet cute in those movies.
I didn't say we don't. You said the most important thing in the movie as an actor is to know the meat cute, and I said
Anyway.
bullshit.
So we met last year. Which we just figured out because calendars are helpful. But we met last year, and it was during my book tour. Yeah.
Partly hurts my heart because when people hear not hurts my heart is fine, but it makes me a little because it was last year, but it's like at this point almost 2 years ago.
No, right, exactly. That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think it was February.
And these in 2025 and 2024 has been 7 years together. So
yeah.
So it feels like forever ago.
It does feel like, yeah. No, we're getting on 2 years. What are we doing for our anniversary? We got to figure that out.
A meet cute.
That was good. I'm gonna let you have that one.
You're welcome.
It's March 2nd, but not that you asked, but that's what it is.
It's my brother's birthday too.
Is it really? Mm-hmm. It's right before your birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
We Pisces.
I know. You Pisces men in particular.
I've heard some things.
Okay, so we're gonna get into this meet cute. I was dating a Pisces at the time.
Boom.
Yeah. And I had, because the book tour was out, I had an TV interview in my home. Then I had to go in Oakland. Then I had to go into the city to do an NPR interview. Then I had to fire someone on my team in my car. And then I had to yell at the guy I was dating because he was supposed to come with me to an event at a very fancy museum event. And he didn't come. And I was like, you know what I'm going to do? Kendrick Sampson's in town. And I'm going to go find him and I'm going to fuck him. And that's what I told the guy, and I hung up the phone. So that's what you don't know. So then I I had to change in my car, look all fancy, I look very cute. So that's why I looked all like gala when I came in, because everything was very what we're wearing now. It wasn't a whole gala thing. And so I did that. I left that part early. I told Taylor Smalls, the painter, I'm coming. I'm not paying for shit. I'm just going to say, can you introduce me to Kendrick? And she was like, no problem. So I come in, it was after you did your talk at Throughline, where she did a gallery show where my face was 5x5 times 2.
Your face with my sister's face.
With your sister's face.
And
Guapale.
Swan.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It was a good group of folks. Oh, yeah. We all hung out. I'm now realizing that you had 3, for your birthday. And so I find Taylor. I was like, Taylor, long day, tired. Can you, introduce me to Kendrick? And she was like, sure, yeah, no problem. And you were seated on a couch, surrounded by women. Surrounded. A lot of them. So Taylor's like trying to find a way, and then she comes over to me and she was like, I just don't think it's a really good time. I said, mm-hmm. So I went over to you. You were seated just like that. And I said, hi, Kendrick. My name is Dr. Akilah Cadet. I think you're going to like my book. And I showed it to you on my phone. Mm-hmm. And then you stood up. You're like, tell me about your book. And we had a little chat. And I was like, I would love to be in conversation with you. My book just came out, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, no, it sounds great. And then we exchanged info so I can get the team info. And I was like, okay, cool. Great. Do you want an audiobook or do you want a physical book? And you're like, oh, I want a physical book. And I said, okay, cool. I'm going to go get the book and I'll just be right back. And you were like, no, I'll come with you. And I was like, no, you have to do this. So I will just bring it to you. But now I'm realizing that you probably wanted to break free. I
had to leave.
Did you?
I was like, we walking out at the same time.
I'm like, you have to go.
Gives me, but also all those women, though that is a little deceptive, all those women around me were also like
great people.
incredible,
Yeah.
yeah,
No, you were just popular.
but the incredible leaders who I wanted to connect with and collaborate with, and so it was
Absolutely.
work, and at the same time I was like, I
gotta go.
gotta get, yeah, I gotta
Yeah,
get.
so I'm like,
I got a flight.
I
got,
also was like, I wanted to go as well. So
and we connected on more than just the book. It was quite a few points, and yeah,
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 yeah. So then we
Word.
talked about the book. I signed a little copy for you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what I said, but I'm sure it was profound.
It was so profound.
Yeah, I know you think about it all
You
the
know,
time, right?
yeah, I remember it every
Those
day.
words mean
Yeah.
so much. Yeah, and then we had our first meeting on February 29th, 2024. And I will always remember that because it's a leap year. So,
Good observation.
yeah, so I was meeting with your executive director of the time, and like my team and your team were on a call. And then they're like, Kendrick's really busy, so I don't know if he's going to join. I'm like, that's fine, because we're just trying to figure out when to do this conversation. And then like 10 minutes in, you popped in, and I was like, oh, hey. So we talked about some things. And I was like, cool, I'll be in LA. I was in Texas. I was in Austin at the time when we met for the book tour. And I was like, I'll be in LA for the weekend. And he was like, oh, cool, we should get together. Text me. And I said, Kendrick, I don't have your number. And then you gave me your number. And then I didn't know if I was going to see you or not. But you sent me pages that night for a project you were writing. And I read those pages. And then we had oysters. And as a vegetarian, I don't really eat oysters. But now I do. I eat oysters. Today we had branzino.
It was our whole diet, but I mean, you already know. I've already talked a bit about this. That obviously, food is a huge part of my life. I mean,
Oh my God.
my dad and my mom can cook their asses off. Just like, whew, I ain't realized how spoiled I was with food, and that isn't. It wasn't extravagant. It wasn't like, rich people. I mean, listen, when we went out on Fridays or whatever, we got our treat for the week. It was probably Burger King, Timmy Chan's. Houston people go,
Yeah,
it'd be like
yeah.
Frenchies,
I'm a
things
California
like
girl.
that.
Oh, Frenchies, yes.
But my family's food was always like top tier. And my mom grew up Port Arthur on the port, and my grandpa worked on the docks. And it was always seafood.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my mom loves seafood, so it's like in me.
It is.
And in the past few years, I've always eaten oysters growing up, but not raw.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't start raw oysters till like 2020, 21, and so I'm like,
I didn't know
it's a
new.
recent obsession, yeah.
Oh.
And so I was like, we gotta get oysters, but also, my two passions, right? So I got this food, right, and then storytelling, right?
Right.
So of course, since you this project that I'm working on, because you've done the incredible work of putting together this book and going through the process, which we both talked about how frustrating that can be.
Absolutely.
How terrible and traumatic and how much work it is putting a book together. I'm not going to say it's always terrible and traumatic for anybody, but I'm just saying how terrible and traumatic it can be, and
yeah.
the things that we have gone through.
Yeah.
And yeah, working on that has been a task,
Mm-hmm.
a whole lot of work, but also some of the most, I think, transformative and powerful work that I've done in like exploring the values of the people that we work with,
Mm-hmm.
the movement for our freedom, the movement for sexual liberation, for Black radical liberation, abolition, and like what those things mean,
Yeah.
and like why I've been drawn to them, and what we need to do, what the practical way of moving forward with those values are in these days, especially when every day is a mindfuck.
Every day.
2025.
2025. I mean, just having Donald and Co. in office is it adds a bit much to the day, right?
Evil people doing evil things.
People doing evil things. Yeah, and it's a level of, for people like us, it's a level of exhaustion I've never felt before, because even the first time with Donald in office, you knew there's going to be some fuck shit, but they didn't really know what they're doing. This time around, they absolutely do know what they're doing, and it's having a profound impact on, obviously, BIPOC people, Black, Indigenous people of color, disabled folks, the LGBT plus community, anyone who is an hourly worker, anyone who may be viewed as low income, anyone who has health care. The list goes on and on and on. And so with all that stuff that happens, how are you able to decide when you want to be that activist, an abolitionist? Are you taking breaks and you're like, okay, you're about to get this carousel of of information. Can you turn it off at all?
No, I think the way that I am programmed, I've always been at, whether it's ethnic, race, gender, anything that, health, wellness, mental health. I've always been at these strange intersections that make me question when two things don't add up, when they don't quite line up, why they don't, right? And I've always felt like a misfit, so I liked corralling the misfit. I like convening them together, getting them together, be like, okay, let's be misfit. This our home. They don't want us to have their home. We make our own,
right.
And it's gonna be better than theirs.
Yeah.
And making sure that whatever advantages I find, whatever power I find, that I show the other folks that are going through the same thing as me, that have the same questions and don't line up, with life and the way people operate culture in the way that other people think they should. I'm like, these are the secrets that I found. You share your secrets with me, I share my secret with you. We're gonna build power together. You know what I'm saying? And that is down to like, it's just like, if the two things don't add up, you leave a broken necklace or something on my desk or on accident, I'm be obsessively figuring that thing out. So it's not as much that I have to think about activism as much as I'm constantly assessing, I'm constantly looking at different situations, people, conversations, and being like, something don't add up here. And I have to figure it out.
Yeah.
And the more I build the people around me, culture around me, and they build me up with that same intention of solving those problems or connecting the dots and making us healthier, and that drives me. Same thing in storytelling. It's literally the same thing. I'm like, what don't add up here, and how do we connect it? We need to get from point A to point B. That's the story, right? You point A to point B, and that's a long journey up to a B. And how do we get there? Figuring out that journey is what interests me, and what I feel like my purpose in life is figuring out who I am in these intersections at the center of all of these meeting points that don't add up, and why I don't fit in, and figuring out who else don't feel like they fit in and might be targeted by this or other things, and how we can be better in it, and help each other out and thrive, and feel good and be celebrated,
make the
be
world
powerful.
a better place.
Yeah, transform the shit.
Yeah.
Our energy transforms whatever whatever situation we enter into. Yeah.
No, I mean, you really do a great job of not being an ally, but being an accomplice. Like, you are the one who's going to say, like, because allyship allows for comfort, when you want to show up and how you want to show up for someone. But you're like, no, I ride for everyone. So if you're a person who is historically excluded or oppressed, whether you have points of intersectionality or shared with them or not, you have an opportunity to be an accomplice for them, which I think is powerful and great. And another part of storytelling, too, right, to help people learn and unlearn. Another thing you're really wonderful at is talking about mental health, which is great. You know that I live with major depressive disorder because I live in chronic pain and disability, and I dismantle white supremacy. So it's a fun combo platter there. Why is it important to you to talk publicly about mental health? Because you can't have any problems because you're an actor in Hollywood, and
That would be the argument for why we have problems. Yeah, no, I definitely, I like that word accomplice, comrade,
Yeah, right.
we in the trenches together.
Exactly.
Let's get the best way to get through it. If we both have some insight, if we both have some skills, if we both have some fight in us, if we both have the power to build, if we do it together, we're more likely to get to where we want to go, right? If we got the same goal. So I'm definitely like, I'm not like, let's just get in here and figure it out. I'm like, we got a plan. Let's do it together. I feel like we got some things. Whatever you afraid to use, I might be afraid to use it too. We're going to get over that fear real quick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're going to use whatever we got to do what we need. And my family has dealt with so many health issues. People don't really think a lot about, they think about their health in different ways. My dad was like obsessed, and like I said, he grew up in the country, orphaned, like in segregation. He had to teach himself a lot of, what plants were healthy, what makes you, has healing, abilities, what is gonna make you worse, less healthy, weaker, whatever, without going to culinary school, without going, and I know that a lot of people think about that physical health, but my dad had heart issues, severe, so many health issues. But what I really noticed more than anything was, people like my brother who had to, go through different misdiagnoses, wrong diagnoses, bipolar. There were so many taboo thoughts around if your brain doesn't work like everybody else's, and I knew mine didn't. I knew it was so clear when I went into certain situations that my brain moved slower than everybody. Sometimes I felt like that was something that held me back in a challenge, and other times it was a huge advantage where everybody else is going a mile a minute. I'm over here like, I ain't got no higher speed. So I'm gonna process things at my speed. And I didn't ever think that was an evil thing or something that showed that somebody was worse or not good, worse than other people or not good. It was just a different way of being.
Yeah.
And my mom went to school, even though she didn't, this was not her career. She went to school for counseling. And so I had a early introduction to like mental health. He had to go through, one of my brothers had to go through several programs and go to hospital, and I saw how different people thought extremely different about that process and what that means, and what getting people to think about their brain and how they think and how to improve that and help people, how people didn't make that a high priority. They didn't think it was important, or they thought it was evil, or they, the church was painting it as something that was, you know, made you further away from God,
Right.
or whatever it was, or a punishment or something like that. And I thought that was bullshit.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're not about to tell me that my brain
Right.
worked differently, so I'm wrong. I'm slower. My brain works slower than everybody else, so I must be evil. And I wanted to make sure other people considered those same things. And, at the end of the day, I know that the better we think, the healthier our brain is, the more likely we are to make great decisions, good decisions that are healthy for each other. And the less healthy our brain is, the more likely we are to make decisions that are less healthy. So I have a huge passion for making sure people factor that in. And just to be real, everything that this country, America, has done to black people in the history of this country has targeted us and made us less healthy, or given us more obstacles, and been more traumatic, evil, and tried to make us think that we were less than. And there's a process we have to go through as black people to get that shit out of our mind, to disregard it, to recognize that is the evil thing. Even the way they manipulated Christianity and spirituality and religion to say that, to justify that we are less than we are, that we are evil, or we are some sort of negative thing. And I'm like, there's nothing less appealing than no color. So I was like, so that can't be right. You know what I'm saying? It can't be right. And so, I do think that it's one of the key considerations, strategies to get us to be freer, to get us to be more powerful, to stand in our power, to help each other, and to understand the importance of helping each other and how we exist together, and how important it is that each of us plays a role in that.
Mm-hmm. And what you're talking about is really reconnecting, getting back to, or still moving forward in humanity, and remembering that. I think that's why Build Power is so great, because you purposely have pillars that get into sexual liberation, to community and activism, mental, like it's a holistic approach to remind folks that it's more than one way. Like sexual liberation is still an act of resistance, particularly for Black, brown people, right? Or for trans folks, like, and it shouldn't have to be that way in 2025, 2026. We shouldn't have to have those conversations, but, here we are, just living and being who you are can still be something that is radical.
Yeah.
Like rest for Black women is radical.
Right.
For me to say I need help is radical. Like all of these things, because as a Black woman, I'm supposed to take care of everyone. But we told y'all, no one listened.
Yeah,
you did.
Helped you already.
Right.
we fulfilled her.
Right.
We done.
And we're here. So I think another thing that you actually do for humanity is that you have these really great ways of being on film and on screen, to talk about, like, Nathan and bipolar for, Insecure, and any other, you had to quote the thespian Lil Jon, Lovers and Friends. Yeah, so that's like your newest thing.
Friends and Lovers.
Friends and Lovers. Friends and Lovers.
I was like,
what did I
John,
do?
the thespian.
Yeah, the
thespian.
thespian.
Was he in that movie?
So you just had that come out, which is
Friends
pretty
and
cool.
Lovers, directed by D'Angela Proctor.
And written by Erica Muse, which is, your first, you have an important connection with Erica, and then my twin sister's bestie, which I think is just really cool to see all that come together. And then, like, I heard that, like, you're playing Quincy Jones for a movie. Mm-hmm. Okay, great. Congrats on that. How does it feel to play a legend?
Yeah, I think that at the essence of what we do at Build Power, as you were talking about, with mental health, sexual health, liberation, reproductive rights, state violence, labor rights, whatever it is, at the center of anything that we do is storytelling, and realizing in the same way that I'm saying, white people, we talk about white supremacy. We like to call it, go to Sonia Renee Taylor, white delusion. We're like, it's white delusion has had such a unhealthy, detrimental, traumatic, evil impact on how we think of ourselves, with the history of America, and like you said, queerness, or being a woman, or like how degrading, how much we have been taught it is something that makes us unworthy of rights, of health, of wellness, of good, and I think it's so important to, as we're looking at Hollywood and the entertainment business, filmmaking, television, social media, content creators and things, to understand the importance of story, because Hollywood's made us think, that storytelling is like, and art is like a pastime. It's an extracurricular activity. It's something you get extra credit for. But it's actually at the center of power building. It's at the center of community building. It's at the center of us understanding the story of why we're here, why we belong to each other, why we're family, whatever it is. And we talk about our ancestors and folks a lot, which, Quincy Jones is a recent ancestor, but he is connected to so many important stories, and even thinking about
stories we know, and
so
stories
many
we don't even know.
Stories we don't know, stories that have transformed the way that we think of ourselves. You're thinking about The Wiz and when The Wiz came out, and what's possible, thinking about what was possible and how big it was and how beautiful it was and how expressive it was. You know what I'm saying? And even thinking about Thriller, and how Thriller specifically was a transformative thing in filmmaking and music. And I was obsessed with Quincy Jones for several reasons, but a lot of it was his composing. And I was obsessed with jazz as a kid. So I came up from a different angle. And then my dad was like, he in the 90s, he's like, you ain't Q's juke joint, and you don't know,
The people, if they don't know, if they don't know about Q's joint, to the youth, listen, take some time and listen to that album. Tevin Campbell's also on that too, which is like incredible in so many ways, but
so many. Brandy, Tamia.
Oh God, yeah.
But I got to meet him. I didn't get to have a whole. I didn't even have the script on the first day of the job for the Michael biopic, and playing Quincy Jones. But I got to how I got in there and what I got to do is so it shows so much of what we were talking about values and building us up together. Lee Jonte, you know what I'm saying, hit me like, hey, you in town? You think you can play this? Because somebody said they don't know who you are, and I'm about to make sure they know who you is. I'm going in there on FaceTime, you know what I'm saying? She was like, I think you could play this. And having people that understand and believe in you like that, even where you might not even believe in yourself, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, the first day I still didn't have the script, so I didn't have the time. It was such a fast process. And it was right after the strikes. I didn't have time to really dig into it, but God, right?
Yeah.
Hallelujah. I went to a Grammy party a couple years before that, and sat in the corner. I'm notorious for sitting in the corner at these events because I'm country.
Yeah.
I want to find my little food, get in my little corner, and talk to whoever come across my path. If I run into them, if I don't,
You're
I
selectively
ain't got to
social.
talk
You're
to
selectively
nobody.
social. You talk
so
to the
I
people
went
you like.
in the corner and I hid out there. And Quincy found the corner. Quincy Jones found the corner, and I was sitting there like, "Oh my God, that is Quincy Jones!" And these people put this line. They started lining up to talk to him, and he had security that was helping him. And this is at a Grammy party where like it's supposed to be exclusive. These are celebrities and executives and managers and lining up to be like, that's Quincy Jones. And I'm over here like, this man sitting next to me. And he grabbed me, told me all types of, we're talking about how many stories he represents. He would tell me, he would say things like, you know, oh, you know, you remember the Olympics in China? Yeah, I produced that opening number. And I'll be like, what does that even mean? How do you produce that? Like, you know, I'm like, he was full of these stories. He's such an incredible storyteller. And thinking of the importance of that was, and here's even, you know, because God loved me. I went to another event where he was there again, and he did the same thing. Both times he grabbed me, sat me down. Every time I tried to get up, he would grab me, sit me right back down and be like, I ain't done talking to you. And talk to me for hours. So my preparation came long before I got the job, right?
Yeah.
I got to sit there and soak up every single second, every story. You know, he said some things, you know.
Well, we know that. But also to get like the mannerisms and the tone and the inflection. Yeah.
And here's what was crazy. A lot about it. He's a Pisces, you know. You know, as Pisces, we be doing the thing. And he, you know, it must mean something because a lot of his mannerisms, a lot of the way he carried himself, the laid back, chill, you know, is how people describe me. So a lot of anything that I had to play on was internal. It was like, I hope we are more similar than than I think we are, because I ain't got time to study and prepare.
Yeah.
So that was a beautiful, beautiful thing, and a chance to do what we center at the core of our work, which is go back to the original story. Where is the truth? Where is, you know, who are our original storytellers, the griots, you know, the people that hold the truth of who we are and that we need to honor. And I got to honor one of them, and I pray he's proud because, you know, I got to book it before and shoot it before he passed, but he did pass shortly after. And I'm like, you know, I was devastated. I was like, no, I was hoping he would see.
But you had the other moment that's much more valuable than seeing it. I do believe in the power of spirits and energy and connection. And y'all Pisces linked up, you know, so you could have that moment. And so
and it came right before this evil motherfucker in chief, evil pedophile in chief, got into office with all these other evil motherfuckers who want to, and in Hollywood, have been attacking our stories, have been attacking, and that's down to libraries, education, propaganda, DEI, whatever it is, CRT, even our theory, they're coming after our academic institutions. So just like,
and it's important to note, this impacts the film industry, attack on DEI, because film programming, and we talk a lot about this, film programming specific to women, to Black and brown people, all of that is gone. And if it's still there, it has a different name. And so we're already in a film industry that limits the stories we have of ourselves. And we're going to see that again until we are able to get through this. I believe we will get through Donald and co. to get to the point where we can start to see our stories more.
Yeah, so it was strategic at the time for putting some power in me and making me feel like I you know, I'm worthy of this fight, of this of building together, and that life that we deserve. You know, I get to honor my people and move move forward and use what those lessons from who they were and how they operated to empower the strategy moving forward.
It's beautiful. I need to know something also on record.
On record.
Aren't you ready?
Okay. I ain't got no Bible. I'm not putting my hand on it.
Why do you like working with me?
Why do I like working with you?
We need this on record. Oh boy.
I don't. I mean, there's general. Obviously, I think you know by now. If I'm not enjoying working with somebody, it's gonna last a very short period of time.
I'm very aware.
And I really do see that, enjoyment isn't just like having fun, but it is how we build each other up. Even if it's frustrating, I can get through, you know what I'm saying? If I know that we have the intention to make each other better, and that's something that I know since the first meeting, because that's what I was saying, we connected further than just the book. It was the themes in the book. It was the work moving forward, what needs to happen in our own lives, how we process reality, whatever that is. But that is my favorite thing is understanding that at your core you want to make everybody around you better. And even if that's taking time for yourself, it's kind of like that, putting your oxygen mask on first. But like your intention is to do that so that you can move the work forward to make all of us better. And I know that you have my best intentions in mind. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So
thank you. I like that.
Yeah, and of course we relate on the values of what we want to. How we want to transform the world and the spaces that we're in.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you for that. I think you're cool.
Thanks.
That's it. No.
Let me put my sunglasses back on so I'm even cooler.
No. We have a lot of synergy, which I really appreciate. So, and there's not a lot of us that are out there, so I'm glad we have each other.
I love that.
Thanks for being a little source of joy for me. But what are you doing for Pockets of Joy?
In 2025, I'm breathing.
Mm-hmm.
I and the people that have come before me have been through some of the most evil, scary, stressful circumstances, and if you read the comments on social media, you will always see Black folks talking about how unserious we are. Mm-hmm. And I think that's just one way of saying we could find humor in anything. Mm-hmm. Because we've been through so much, what we're not going to do is lose our spirit and our soul. And in the middle of some of the most traumatic experiences, we can step back and be like, you really going to sit like that?
Wait in the water. Right, exactly.
You gonna say it just like that? You know what I'm saying? We can find. So I've been finding my joy, one, in the purpose of what I'm doing, because sometimes it's so frustrating, so stressful. But in the purpose of what I'm doing, and understanding what we're building towards, what the vision is, what a freer us looks like, what a more powerful us, a pleasurable existence looks like for us. But also, I can find a laugh at any time, in any circumstances, in the middle of the battlefield. I'll be over there like, man, that ladybug ain't had to look at me like that. I'm gonna figure out some reason to laugh at something.
Which is good. You gotta find the joy, where you can, and this America. I do believe it will get better, but having the joy along the way makes sense. Mm-hmm. Which is good. Well, I just want to remind you to just keep being amazing as you already are. I would normally give you a t-shirt at this time, but you already have one, so I'm not going to do that to you.
I do have
You support all the merch, which is good. I think I greatly appreciate that. And I'm excited for what is to come for you, to see this, this big film that's coming out next year and a book and all these other things that you're doing. And I really appreciate you putting yourself first and humanity second, which does make the world a better place. So,
Hey,
Thank
listen, that is the plan. You know what I'm saying? If anybody want to come on down to Build Power, because we out here.
So let folks know how to Build Power, find you.
I'm Kendrick 38. I'll be in the streets.
Oof.
You can find me there in the streets, in the theaters. We could, somewhere over there. Nah, but Kendrick 38 is
Where the thirst traps
my
are.
handle.
Sorry, yes, where people can learn. Yeah.
And where the magic hour settles. And then Build Power is BLDPWR. We do our best to build community. We have really fun events. We have good time, and we get our knuckles, ready. We have our tools, our partners, our organizational partners, our comrades, and we know that people teach us to be what is it called? Bipartisan and diplomatic and compromising in certain ways when people really straight up attacking us and doing evil things, and we want to ground ourselves in nothing but the truth to say, nah, this is what it should be, and this is how we address this, and we ain't afraid to do what we need to do by any means necessary to get things done and make sure that we have the life that we deserve. So, that's the work ahead.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks, Boo. Big love and gratitude to our guests for showing up with truth, humor, and of course, humanity. If this conversation moved you, you gotta like it, you gotta share it, you have to talk about it, bring it into your circles, spaces, and places, because that's how change multiplies. You can catch more episodes wherever you get your podcast and watch the full series produced by CL Media and me on the CL Media YouTube channel. Now, what is that YouTube channel? What you need to subscribe to so you can get more of this. But until next time, stay curious, find your joy, and keep being amazing.